Hey everyone, and welcome. Whether you're a gym owner, an operator, a manager, a salesperson, or a personal trainer, basically, if you're in the gym business, you're in the right place. Today, we're doing an explainer on a really important white paper by jthomas, and our goal is simple: to give you actionable insights that you can use right away. We're going to get right into the single biggest mistake people make in this industry, and more importantly, how you can avoid it. So let's start with this quote from Jim because it just hits the nail on the head. Problems in your gym don't just show up one morning out of the blue. It's a slow burn. It's that 1 month of sales that's just a little bit off. It's a few more cancellations than you're used to seeing. These aren't big, flashy disasters. They're whispers. They are the tiny little cracks that show up long before the whole thing falls apart. And that's exactly where the danger lies, isn't it? Because the problems build up so gradually, it's just so easy to ignore them, to explain them away. Oh, it's just a slow month. But really, it's like that old story of the boiling frog. It's happening so slowly, you don't even notice until it's too late. And this slow build leads right to the #1 most destructive mistake a gym owner can possibly make. So, what is this slow motion problem? What is this huge mistake that can absolutely derail your entire business? I'll tell you, it's not about having the wrong treadmills or your location being a little off. No, it's something way more personal and way more common. And there it is. The single biggest mistake is simply inaction. It's seeing those little warning signs, hearing those whispers, and just waiting, hoping that things will magically get better all by themselves. But you and I both know hope is not a business strategy. You're probably asking, okay, but why? I mean, we're talking about smart people here, passionate entrepreneurs who have put everything on the line for their business. So why on earth would they just sit back and wait when they know something's wrong? Well, the answer has a lot less to do with business sense and a whole lot more to do with human psychology. All right, let's get into the psychology of delay. The white paper breaks it down into 4 key reasons that basically build this wall that stops owners from taking action. And I'm willing to bet that at least one of these is going to hit pretty close to home for you. First up, emotional attachment. You have poured your blood, sweat, and probably a lot of tears into this gym. It's not just a business, it's your baby. So admitting that your baby is in trouble, well, that can feel like you're failing as a person. And that's a really painful thing to face, which makes asking for help incredibly difficult. And then, of course, there's pride, right? Most of you are in this business because you're driven. You know how to push through pain, how to grind out that last rep. You're used to muscling through any challenge. But here's the thing. Running a business is a completely different sport. The same grit that serves you so well on the gym floor can actually backfire if it stops you from getting an expert coach for your business. Oh man, and this next one, we've all heard it, maybe we've even said it ourselves. It's that voice of false optimism, that little hope that says, don't worry, once January 1st hits, the New Year's resolution crowd will save us. But that seasonal hope is like a painkiller. It just masks the real underlying problems that aren't going away on their own. And finally, the big one, fear of cost. And look, this makes total sense on the surface. When money's tight, the very last thing you want to do is spend more of it. Hiring a consultant feels like a huge risk. But here's the great irony. Avoiding that smaller upfront cost almost always leads to a much, much bigger, more painful cost down the line, which leads us right to the real cost of that delay. This is what happens when waiting it out is your strategy. And let me tell you, the damage isn't just on your bank statement. It ripples through every single part of your gym. It's a painful domino effect. You see, it starts with declining memberships. That puts a ton of pressure on your team, which leads to staff turnover. Then, as your team and your member count get weaker, the value of your business just plummets. And right in the middle of it all is you, the owner, heading straight for total burnout. See, they're not separate problems. They're all connected. So when you boil it all down, you're really looking at a choice between 2 very different paths, 2 different costs. On one hand, you've got a manageable, predictable investment in getting expert help to fix things early. On the other hand, you have the ultimate cost of doing nothing, lost revenue, endless recruiting costs, and a business that could end up being worth a whole lot less. When you see it laid out like that, The choice is pretty clear. Okay, so we get it. We know why we wait, and we know how bad it can get. So the million-dollar question is, when is the exact moment to act? How do you know you've gone from just having a tough month to being in a real danger zone? Well, the white paper gives us a really clear diagnostic tool for that. All right, I want you to take a second and be really honest with yourself here. Are you missing your sales targets month after month? Is your retention dropping and you have no idea why? Is your team just down? Or are your marketing dollars just vanishing into thin air? Pay really close attention to these last two. Are you using your own personal money to make payroll? And maybe the biggest one of all, do you just feel completely overwhelmed with no idea what to do next? Those are screaming red flags. And here's the most critical takeaway from that list. You don't need to be checking off every single box. Jim Thomas makes it clear, if even one of those things resonates with you, that is your sign. That is the moment. It's the signal that what you're doing right now just isn't working anymore, and it is absolutely time for a new approach. So let's flip the script. Enough with the problems. Let's talk solutions. Let's talk about the incredible power of acting early. This isn't about admitting you failed. No way. This is about making a smart, strategic decision to take back control and secure the future of your business. And the benefits are huge, and they happen fast. You get a fresh set of eyes on your business that can see the blind spots you're too close to notice. You stop wasting time and money on trial and error and start using proven strategies that actually work. But you know what? Maybe the most important benefit is for you personally. You get your confidence back. You get to lead with a clear plan and real energy, and believe me, your team will feel that. So how do you actually do this? How do you build a business that avoids that too late trap from the get-go? Well, here is your proactive playbook. It's simple and it's effective. It's really just a 4-step action plan. First, just acknowledge reality. Know your numbers, track them, and be brutally honest about what they're telling you. Second, build your support network before you're in a crisis. Third, start thinking of expertise as a line item in your budget. It's an investment, not a luxury. And finally, number 4, just never stop learning. The best gym owners on the planet are the ones who know they don't have all the answers. This last quote from the white paper just ties it all together so perfectly. At the end of the day, it's not always about who works the hardest or who has the flashiest equipment. So often, the real difference between thriving and failing, it just comes down to timing. It's about having the wisdom to call for help before it's too late. So if any of this today felt even a little bit familiar, the message couldn't be clearer. Waiting for next month or for the New Year's rush, that's not a plan. That's a gamble. The single most powerful strategic move you can make for your business isn't a year from now or even a month from now. It's right now. If you need some help turning things around, or even if you just want that fresh perspective we've been talking about, reach out to the author of the white paper himself, Jim Thomas. You can call him directly at 214-629-7223. Again, that's 214-629-7223, or you can email him at jthomas@fmconsulting.net. Thanks so much for tuning in to this explainer.